Mr. Stark, it's going to be okay.
Baby, you can rest now.
Wait. Idea.
We could use the Dragon Balls!
Better. You know what? In a lot of the media that we like, death is pretty cheap. But you know, sometimes it actually matters. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So there are a lot of deaths in the stuff that we like. Comics and movies and games and TV shows.
It's a natural part of life.
I'm already sad. But one of the things is, I think all of us in just about every medium has gotten to the point where nobody takes character deaths seriously.
You don't, yeah.
Because you know what? They're just going to come back as soon as somebody wants to tell a new story with that character, or for no good reason, and it's going to be cheap, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I was thinking about that, and it stood out to me that there were actually a couple of like character deaths that really worked and moved the story forward, not in a like women in fridges way, but in a like this character had an actual character arc, and their death finished that arc and affected the other characters.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's kick it off.
So I'll kick it off.
Go.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
A lot of probably. You haven't seen
we'll
some of the stuff or watched or played.
Well, what we'll do is we'll hold up the property in case you haven't read it or seen it or
Then
played it.
skip ahead.
And then you just skip ahead to the next person. So,
Okay.
ladies first.
So the one I wanted to choose is, I think anyone who is a Harry Potter fan would have to say. So yes, I am holding Deathly Hallows because we're talking about Severus Snape.
Cedric
Cedric Diggory. Or Cedric Diggory.
Tonks!
Yeah, there's a lot of deaths actually in this book, but the one that I think holds the most clout and the one that means the most to the story is Severus Snape. Since he was introduced in the first book, he was always the antagonist to Harry Potter, and throughout the entire 7 books, he has evolved to be he's a double agent. He has this tragic backstory. He is in love with his mother. All this stuff is spoilers. And the way he dies, it does help. You know, not only does Harry realize that this man is a true hero of this entire battle against evil, it also shows that he's always trying to protect Harry. He was always there because Harry is Lily's son, and it was a very important thing. He loved Lily, and he just, they could never be together because that was never meant to be.
And this one got me so much too because, Snape is my favorite.
He's my favorite too.
And I was actually really sad in this book when he died because I felt like there wasn't enough time dedicated to him.
Yeah.
And that's one thing the movie fixed.
They did.
Because the movies don't do all death justice in Harry Potter. Some of them move very quickly.
Yeah, like Lavender's.
Snape really got his, moment.
So mine's going to come from anime, and it was a series I almost passed up. It is Madoka Magica. I almost passed it up because it looked like every other magical girl anime, and I was like, it looks pretty cutesy. I'll start watching it. And then the series turned with a death, a specific death, very quickly. So there are Humera Sayaka.
Homura, Sayaka. Yeah, Madoka.
Mommy. I got that one. I remember that one.
Yeah. And
Mommy had the gun, right?
Mommy had the gun, and that's who I'm going to talk about is Mommy. So her death was very pivotal to the series because that's when the series changed. It went from happy magical girls, we're going to save the world, to oh shit, this is real.
Oh no.
This is very real.
Oh shit, they just cut that bitch's head off.
Yeah, so
I didn't see that coming either.
She's pulling out the gun, and you see her smiling at her friends over there that's hiding, and she's fighting the witch Charlotte. And, she shoots her, and she's like, everything's good, guys. And then suddenly the witch, morphs into this cartoonish, smiley, fanged teeth creature.
It's really creepy.
That comes down, grabs her head with its teeth, but you kind of don't see everything. You just see her body hanging.
Yeah.
And then blood. And then she changes from her magical girl outfit to her normal outfit, so her magic's gone. It's ended, and it's very sudden. You're just like, crap.
That's
really tragic.
Episode 2, right? It means it's
I think it's 3, episode 3.
Okay. So
because that's the episode that I'm like, okay, binge watching the rest of this shit. This is not what I was expecting.
Still amazing. This really sets, this is a classic now because
it's
that.
very much a classic. It's because of that change, because it's like I'm expecting this, and they delivered much more.
Yeah. You want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What about you, Omar?
So spoilers again. This is huge. This is one of the comic books that means a lot to me. This is always on my top 10 list. This is James Robinson's Starman. Now, I pretend like I'm pretty hard and I don't cry, but I'm really soft and I cry a lot. And this book brings out a lot of that in me. So this is the 6th book, and I'm going to talk about Ted Knight's death. Ted Knight is the original Starman. He is the Golden Age Starman. The story starts out with him handing the baton over to his son. The son ends up dying, and then Jack Knight, the son that did not want to become a superhero, becomes Starman. So he's had this huge battle with the Mist, and now he's an old man. Both him and the Mist are old men. And it's pretty much the final arc where in Opal City they're having this huge battle. Jack Knight comes back and he's got a baby. He was raped by his villain and they had a baby together. And he didn't know about the baby, but now he does. So he has a son and he comes back and his dad is dying of cancer, the original Starman, Ted Knight. And so Ted Knight decides to go out in a blaze of glory and decides to fight the... God, I can't talk about this fucking book without getting teary.
Oh boy.
He decides to fight the Mist for the last time. He's like, we're just too old, man. This has to end now. So he looks at his son and, God damn it.
Take a second.
He looks at his son and he says, do me a favor. Lie to my grandson for me and tell him how cool his grandfather was.
Oh, wow.
Jack looks at him and he says, oh, man, I won't have to, Dad. And he takes off and fucking blaze of glory.
Wow.
Dies. And then there's this awesome narrative of like Jack saying, this was too quick. Like it happened so fast. I didn't get to say I love you. Like there's all these moments of like, man, this really hit me. Because it was a hard time in my life when I was reading this. And yeah.
Let's take a break from the really sad death.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea.
Now let's talk about
I know this one.
a really important death.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
In One Piece. So basically, Luffy, the main character, is on his way to find his brother. His brother's been imprisoned. Mm-hmm. And Luffy's also been separated from all of his friends. So it's a very sad time for him. So he's like, it's okay, I'm gonna go save my brother. I'm gonna go get him. And he goes through so much trial and tribulation.
Impel down.
You know, and he tells his friends, like, I'll be back later. I'll meet you guys later. And so he goes to get his brother. He goes through prison. He has to make new friends.
It's like a Prison Break storyline.
Yeah, and he breaks out his brother. Well, almost breaks out his brother. And then he has to go fight all of these upper level like Marines who are the like, villains of the story to get to him. And finally, after all this fighting, I mean, huge war. It's a huge, huge battle scene. He gets to his brother. And he frees him. And they're walking away together. They're finally reunited after years and years and years. And Akainu's like, basically, hey, stop being such a punk-ass bitch. And Ace is like, I can't deal with that. I'll fight you. And he gets killed. Akainu takes his burning
He's just like, I'm not gonna deal with
big
a
old hole in him.
This is not how you present the story. He went out in a blaze of glory.
Now listen,
He ended up with a fist through his
Yes.
There's a
this ruins
huge
Luffy
hole.
afterwards, you know? Because, I mean, he's devastated. He has to really reevaluate what he's doing himself, like if he has his own power in himself to continue on his journey. Now, here's how I feel about the story. For many One Piece fans, this is a big, big death.
Dude, I cried.
Now,
I'm about to cry again.
Huge in Japan.
For me, I hate Ace because of this scene.
Really?
I hate him. I hate him
he
so
died?
much. I'm coming out with it. I'm a huge One Piece fan. I love every One Piece character,
Except for Ace.
even the villains. But
Her
I hate
entire
Ace.
back is One Piece crew.
I hate him. I hate him.
Tattooed.
And here's why. Because
his Ace is tattooed.
Luffy went through so much to go get him. And Ace couldn't be adult enough to walk away when this guy is making fun of him. Glad
Rob?
you're dead.
Okay, you're hurting me. It's okay. All right. So there are several deaths that I was going to go through.
Oh no.
I was going to talk about Kamina from taking top of your life. I was going to talk about Krillin from Dragon Ball. But I'm going to go with, because I'm the video game guy. Spoilers.
The death of the Final Fantasy series.
Final Fantasy VII dies. No.
It's all nostalgic.
Aerith, one of the main characters. So the significance of this cannot be understated as far as video games are concerned. Before this, this is not the first time that a major character in an RPG that started with you in the
Especially
beginning.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. This is not the first time that someone has died and like didn't come back. Like Final Fantasy VI did the same
Phantasy
thing.
Star.
Phantasy Star was the first
One,
one
I
that
think, was the very
Phantasy
first
Star
one.
one with Nay. Spoilers. Nay dies. So how the scene is set up, they've gone on this journey, they wake up, Eris is gone. Eris is gone. And like, oh, where's Eris? They go to like this really beautiful, again, you have to think this is 1997, I believe. Beautiful graphics, beautiful scenery, flower, spiral, water dripping, magical area. And she's there, she's praying, she's with her flower. And all of a sudden, Sephiroth, who's an weak punk, you talk about punk ass, that's a punk ass right there, comes down and is like, chop! And she's like limps over, and one tear comes out, and she that's it. So Cloud is like, what's going on? What's happening? I can't believe this is happening. And Sephiroth is like, in his glory, like, now that little task is done, I'm gonna go burn this village or whatever he's gonna do. So like Cloud is just broken and upset and crying, well, whatever you can do in polygon graphics, and he's just devastated. And then from that forward, he's like, all right, he goes for it, right?
Surprise.
Yep. So this is a huge scene, because like typical video game logic is, okay, a character dies, put down your Phoenix down, she comes back. Like, you can't do that. Like, she's just gone. And this is also, again, the thing about the market that Final Fantasy VII came out in. So I was working at Babbage's, America's Computer Software Headquarters, and I sold a butt ton of these games. A metric butt ton of these games to everyone. So this game, everyone was talking about this. This is what moved the system. This is what brought RPGs into, like, I mean, people were playing RPGs before this, but this really, like, had people playing Western RPGs. First RPG, right?
You forgot to mention one thing, though. The music was perfect.
The music was
the way it was shot as the ball drops, right?
Look, you're about to cry, right? See?
Okay. Damn.
Last but not least.
Wrap it up.
So, I think everybody expects me to...
Do I? Yeah, no, that's why, yeah.
He came back.
I want to cry!
He came back.
Cry again!
Where I'm going...
Oh, wait. That's not Optimus Prime.
Whoa.
Sandman.
Oh.
Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Now, over the course of this show, I have repeatedly referred to this as the perfect comic book run, in the sense of a character or a creator had a story that they wanted to tell, and when it was over, it ended. But we haven't really talked about what that story is, and that story is a character who is unused to and unwilling to change, realizing that even though he might now want to change, he can't. And it's laid out from the very beginning, all of the seeds of how he is preparing to just exit the world.
Yeah. Especially through rereads and rereads.
Yeah,
like, there's so much in this.
Exactly, just little tiny things of like, regrets and visiting past decisions and trying to make amends in different ways and trying to prepare for, what comes next, and to make sure that the people and things that he cares about are covered in one way or another. And then the series takes... it's the last two arcs of Sandman, the original publication. The second to last arc, The Kindly Ones, is all about him seeing death coming, and maybe he's going to fight against it until he doesn't, basically.
Yeah.
And it's kind of all gearing up for a fight.
And it ends in a way that the next story arc is the funeral.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Because I remember, like, no matter how many times I read this, it's one of those moments, like it's a huge setup or something.
Yeah,
and it's not
disappointment.
disappointment.
There's going to be a huge battle scene or something.
And it's not disappointment, because that's not what it is, but you experience, like, you mourn with the characters because he's already gone, and it's too late.
Right. And no matter how many
Solid.
times I read it, you come to the end where you kind of realize that he's not going to die unless he decides to.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it doesn't end with that, it does a whole series called The Wake that is just, here is a literal wake for this character that spreads across 6 or 7 issues of everyone's memories and everyone dealing with his passing and what it means to them and what it means to, their opinion of Morpheus, the character, and of their interaction. And it was just like so different from anything else that was out at the time. This really hit me, and every time I've reread this story, it just kind of hits me more of how this was the goal from the beginning, is setting out this character's arc that could have only ended this way.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
So tell us in the comments below, who were some of the most painful, excruciating deaths in comics media that you've seen before?
Yes, and don't forget to check out our social media at NearMinCon. We have a Patreon. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't think that I haven't noticed that you're like the third War Machine, right? We had Terrence Howard, then we had Don Cheadle, and now Rob Fox.
Yeah, Rob
really?
Fox. Okay,
Right.
it's fine. You can switch it up. It's fine. No
Thank
one will
you.
notice.
Mr. Stark, it's gonna be okay.
You really don't look that bad, actually. Like, you don't look like you're dying at all.
Mr. Stark, it's going to be okay.
Baby, you can rest.
Do it. Sorry, wasn't expecting it. All right.